Hey there. You ever have those moments in your business when it's the equivalent of a Friday afternoon and you're like wrapping things up and trying to figure out like your next steps and working on it, and maybe you're not put together or your hair is disheveled, or you're just trying to wrap up all the loose ends. That's me right now. On a Friday afternoon, I'm writing next week's newsletter. I'm wrapping up the notes from all the clients I saw this week and looking forward to who I'm going to see next week and prepping for that and getting it all done. And in this week's newsletter, I'm thinking about the last 2 weeks. So here we are. The last 2 weeks, I was like, hey, there is a new business model in town. That was 2 weeks ago. And then last week I said, and I really believe that there is a new business model. We went from one business model that we all tried to fit into to now having many different ones. But what's the same is that you still have to hit, your gross sales has to cover your manufacturing overhead, your cost of goods sold, your staffing, and that leaves your profit. So you still have to hit those, and you can do it different ways. Above all, don't copy the next person because your numbers are only relevant in relation to yourself. And sometimes, we know more about our own businesses than anybody else. But then the flip side is we can get really siloed by being in only talking to ourselves. Lord knows I have done that, or I just get so sucked into just this one kitchen or just this one business, and I don't know everything. So I need to know other things as well, right? Or talk to other people as well. But don't copy their numbers because, again, your numbers are relevant only to yourself. And I would love to help you understand that and implement that and have your numbers work for you rather than you chasing your numbers. So then last week I talked about what that new model looks like, or what's the scaffolding of that new model? Like, what can we get rid of? And what's the scaffolding of the new model? Like, again, gross sales takes care of everything else, and then it gives you net profit. There's a couple of different ways that we can look at that. And there's ways that you can increase depending upon your business. Are you selling hot sauce to go so you get your brand in their home, which is where they connect with the brand at a lower price point or a lower shelf rate, and at a longer shelf rate and a lower labor cost, maybe lower cost of goods sold as well, so you can up the ticket average? Or are you selling meal kits? Are you selling alcohol? Are you selling cookies? What is it that you're increasing as well, right? So I kind of spelled it out and I was like, here's your responsibility. But as I'm wrapping up this thing, I also want to say, like, here's some how. Because if you're like, yeah, thanks. Quit telling me what to do. Help me figure out how to do it. I would love to tell you how to help you, not tell you, help you get to the how. Because we don't have time, right? At best, we work all the time. And then there's this like one moment when you're trying to get all the loose ends together and prep for the next week and wrap up from last week and all of that. And how's the how? And I'm reminded of this today because I spoke with a brand new client that's just coming on board. He has a great concept. He has a great mind for it. He's excited about it. He's working really hard. He's super focused. It's really interesting every time I meet a new client, like a brand new client, not somebody that I've worked with before, because a lot of my clients are people that are returns. So I'm speaking with this guy today, and he says to me, what he wants to do is meet other people in the industry because he wants to know what he doesn't know. So he wants to know how he can find people. And then secondarily, he wants to know what he should ask them. It wasn't quite just asking me that, but like that's essentially what the conversation was about, what he should ask them. And I kind of cringed because I thought, if you go out and you just start asking people, what don't I know? A good chunk of the time in the hospitality industry, you're going to get like, it's so hard to make ends meet with the way this town is, or that town is, or the way this county is, or small business and how it's hard and all of that, right? And so I was like, be careful who you talk to, because you don't want to just go run and get the standard, like, it's really tough to make ends meet. It is tough. Absolutely, it's a tough industry. But like, if we repeat that over and over again, we believe it. And you are so much better than that. So please, if you hear anybody talking like that, put your fingers in your ears and run away screaming, because that's not going to help you. So that's one of the first hows. Don't listen to the negative, and don't repeat the same thing that we all know over and over again. Unless it is getting you the results that you want, don't keep listening to something that isn't working. So the how is to know who you are and to speak that loudly and clearly. Good marketing attracts just as much as it repels, or repels just as much as it attracts. So branding is the next thing that I would say is the most important, not the most important thing. They're all the most important things. And I will lie to you each week and I'll be like, this is the most important, but I really do believe that branding is very important. Branding is important. So a brand is the personality of your business. And it's literally, how are you communicating that? Because I guarantee your business has a personality, but is it the one that you want? Is it intentional? And then how are you doing it? Knowing your brand and knowing your break even, and then taking really good care of your customers and your staff. They are stakeholders. As far as I'm concerned, all leaders have a responsibility equally to their customers as well to their staff. They're the people of your business. But the brand and the break even are the first two steps. A break even, I'm going to speak about really quickly, is how many widgets do you have to sell before you're no longer in debt each month? Where do you come out zero? Where do you start to make money? The break even is it looks like a complicated equation. It's not. If you want some help with it, if you haven't, I've talked about it quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. If you don't know what your break even is, I beg you, I invite you to learn what it is, because then you can move forward. And then the second how is going to your brand. What is it? What core value are you offering to your customers? Right? I mean, if you've worked with me at all, you know my analogy about toothpaste and clean teeth. I don't think anybody cares about toothpaste, but I think we all care about clean teeth. What is it that people are getting from your business? And it's not just calories, because otherwise we could all be eating protein bars. Protein bars are fine on a long bike ride, but like, what is it that you sell? Is it making people feel good? Is it a community place? It's more than just calories. So let's be careful about that. And that's coming from me as a chef, first and foremost, right? Business person second. So your break even. So we just know what you have to do in order to not lose your shirt. And then two, your brand. Focus on your brand. I have a brand DNA worksheet that I share with my clients. And if you are not a client and if you want to work on your brand, give me a shout and I'll share my branding worksheet with you. And if you don't know your break even, same thing. You can look it up on the internet if you want. It's not difficult. What's difficult about it is knowing how and when to use those two tools. So, and if you want some help with it, give me a call or ping me somewhere. I'm easy to find. I'd love to help you with it. So those are the things I have to share this week. Thanks so much. Take good care of you. Bye-bye.